Welcome to another episode of the Untold Stories and celebrating the courage, grit, determination and valor. This is your today's host Harleen Kaur. Today I would like to welcome the fearless Captain Shakul Tyagi sir, who received Shaurya Chakra on 26 January 2012 in recognition of his gallant deed beyond the call of duty. He displayed exemplary courage and professional skills while carrying out the rescue operation. He now holds the distinction of being the first commercial helicopter pilot to receive this honor. So I would like to welcome you once again. It's an absolute honor to sit in front of you and share screen with you. As we all know that you have been awarded with Shaurya Chakra, can you please tell us about the operation in detail?
Before I go into the details of the operation, I must very briefly tell you about my background. I'm a commercial pilot and I got this Shaurya Chakra while flying a helicopter commercially as a commercial pilot. Of course, my roots go back to the Indian Air Force. I retired from the Indian Air Force as a helicopter pilot in the year 2009, and subsequently I joined Pawan Hans Helicopters. And during this period from 2009 till 2012, I was flying Dhruv helicopters which were owned by BSF and operated by Pawan Hans for them. So since the helicopters were owned by the paramilitary forces, we were involved in all their ground operations during this period. I got this Shaurya Chakra for an incident which happened in April of 2011, and the award was given to me on January 2012. This operation happened in the month of April 2011. We were positioned with one helicopter at Gadchiroli in Maharashtra. Now this Gadchiroli district is bordering Chhattisgarh, and it has a long contiguous border with Chhattisgarh, which is just opposite Abuj-Mad area, which is a very highly infested area as far as Naxals are concerned. So these Maharashtra police has a battalion of commandos called C-60 commandos. They carry out regular operations in the jungles and they take assistance from the Cobra commandos of the CRPF. So during one such operation, which was supposed to be a search and ambush operation, they came under very heavy fire from the Naxals who had outnumbered them by close to about 500 people, and they sustained casualties. There were 5 people who had bullet injuries and they had to be evacuated from the scene of the encounter. So this information was passed to us around 5:30 in the evening. The encounter had broken somewhere around 4:30. The sunset time at Gadchiroli was at 6:20 p.m. The flying time from Gadchiroli to this encounter site was about 40 minutes one way. So when we calculated initially, we realized that we are not going to make it back to Gadchiroli in the available daylight. In fact, we are not even going to make it to the encounter site in the available daylight. We would at best be landing up at the encounter site in the fading light when the day transits into the night. So our initial response was to say no to this operation. But these senior police officers who were there at that time, they just put in a request saying that in case you don't fly and in case you don't extricate these people, then they are going to be a burden on the rest of the people, and they are going to very seriously damage the chances of survival of rest of the people also. So it is very important that you somehow extricate these people, not only for their own lives but for the lives of the comrades who are still around on ground. So with this background, on the spur of the moment, I decided as a captain that I need to go, I need to take this chance, and knowing fully well that we will be landing there somewhere around the last light. So I requested the DIG that when I get back, it's going to be totally dark here. So please arrange for some lighting around the helipad. And we expect us somewhere around 7:30 in the night. With this briefing, we took off and we went to that general area. It was new to us also. It was getting dark. We had to use our landing light to land. And luckily, the area which was given to us, in the thick jungles below us, there was a river flowing. This river had dried up because of being summers, and it had small pebbles and stones. So this was the only clearing available to us to go and land. So we went and landed the helicopter there, not realizing that to the northern side of this river were the entire Naxal party, and on the southern side was our C-60 company. So we actually landed up in a crossfire, which obviously from the air we had no clue about it. After landing, I was looking for some clues, somebody to approach me. Nobody came to the helicopter. The rotors were running, engines were running. We waited for a while. I decided to go out and handed over controls to the co-pilot and opened the door and went out. Then I saw a torch shining from behind the tree, which was just about 30-35 meters away. So I approached that person. Luckily for me, it happened to be own friendly people. It was the company commander of C-60 battalion, and he identified himself, and I asked him where are the casualties. So he said they are here, but my men are very scared of going out in the open because the Naxal party is on the other side of the river, and there's a crossfire which is happening. So with this background now, since we had already landed there and we were in the thick of things, there was no question of going back. So I told him, okay, I'll assist you all, and let me carry one casualty. So he helped me with the first wounded man, and with his help and support, and I almost carried him on my shoulders to the helicopter. So probably, you know, there's one thing which is drilled into us during our service in the armed forces, that you always lead by example. So this leading by example is what actually saved the day that day. Moment this first man was brought in, the remaining people thought that now this is too much, somebody else has come up from outside and is helping us. So they picked up the rest of the injured people and they brought them to the helicopter. There were 5 people who had gunshot wounds, and there were about 6 others who had inflicted injuries of other kinds. So we carried a total of 11 people, extricated them out of this encounter area. The whole operation on ground took not more than 3 to 4 minutes. It was a very quick extrication, and we closed the doors, got our full RPM and used our landing light. By then it was totally dark. We used our landing light and we just took off from there.
When the guns started firing during the operation, what was your strategy?
At the start of this exercise itself, we were told that we are going very close to the encounter area, but we had no idea that we'll actually be landing in a place which will be, you know, in the middle of a crossfire. So there was no pre-planned strategy as such before the flight. After landing and after having spoken to the company commander, when he confirmed that his people are unable to come out because there is crossfiring going on, only then I realized that yes, we have actually landed up in soup. But now we were already inside it. So when you are inside it, you have very little choice. You know. So when you are inside it, now you leave everything to your fate and to the destiny, and you focus on the job at hand for what you have come for. So that's what we did.
What were your family reactions when you got that award, Shaurya Chakra, or when you were on the operation?
When I was on the operations, my family did not know about it.
Later on, when they got to know about it?
So later on, when they got to know about it, the only reaction which my wife had to tell me was that, you know, you've already hung up your uniform. You didn't have to be doing all this. So that was the family's reaction. And the award came much later. It came almost 8 to 9 months later. In fact, I was also not expecting an award. I was not knowing that I have been put up for an award. On 26 January at 7 in the morning, I got a call from one of my seniors who's in Delhi. And he said, "Where are you?" I said, "Sir, I hadn't got a call from him for almost 10 years. So he said, "Where are you?" I said, "Sir, I'm in Ranchi." He said, "What the hell are you doing there?" I said, "Sir, I'm flying BSF helicopters." And he says, "Do you have a newspaper close to you?" I said, "No, sir, I've just woken up." He says, "Go get a newspaper. Your name is in there and you've got a Shaurya Chakra." So that was the only time I realized that an award has been given to me. And nowhere in these intervening 8 months did I ever realize that, you know, something like this is coming up.
ओ मेरा रोम रोम तेरा कर्जदार है, हमारी ये आजादी तेरी कर्जदार है। शुक्रिया 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 हो शुक्रिया।